Hey friends, I want to welcome you to another episode of HackerCard, the entrepreneur's home. And what we're going to be talking about today, is how do we buy investors and employees over? So come to think of it, I think one of the best things as a tech founder or someone starting out as a founder of a company or a product or something is to have people who are willing to die for your product, who are willing to support your product, support your idea, who are willing to put down the money to fund what you are doing. I think that's one of the best feelings to have as a startup founder or something. But these two guys, employees and investors, they're really hard nuts to come by. Really hard. It's very rare to see people that support what you're doing. It's very rare and kind of hard a little bit to see people who want to go 1,000 miles to bring to reality whatever thing you're trying to bring to the world. And I think this is a general human behavior, but I think there are a few things we can consider when trying to win either investors or qualified experts in working for your product or your company, or investors in supporting or funding your product. I think there are two things we need to understand about these two different people, two different mindset, two different sense of reasoning. And I'm gonna take the first guy, which is the employee. That's that expert sufficiently work enough that can sufficiently give you the necessary resources in terms of intellectual, in terms of intellect, in terms of knowledge, in terms of experience. It can give you the knowledge, the experience in terms of building products that works. He has he has a basket full of knowledge, and his decisions are data driven. His decisions are experience based, so he can tell you from real life experiences on his past work. To win this kind of people over, as employees, there's one way to get these guys over, and this is the simple thing you must make known is kind of sending an emotional message. Like, how do you tell a story to these kind of guys? You must be empathetic enough to put you in their shoes. You must be empathetic because they want to feel. You make them feel they are a part of a larger project. You make them feel that with them in your program, with them working with you, with them coming together to support you in what you're doing, they can fulfill their life's ambition, their life's desire, their life's goal can be fulfilled by working with you. This applies to any great companies out there in terms of Google, Facebook, Apple. There are a lot of guys that have stayed in these companies for 35 years, 25 years, in the likes of Coca-Cola for more than 50 years. There are a lot of people that have done this. And there's one single thing that keeps these guys together, that keeps these guys tied like knots together. And that's very simple. The founders of this company were able to pass a message of how these guys can be able to achieve their life ambition as they work with me. You're a founder, you're a tech founder, right? Good. How do you send this message of including these people to work with me, making them inclusive, making the whole process of work with you inclusive, whereby they are part of everything you do. Their decisions matters. Everything they do matters in the run of your company. I think passing an emotional story, passing an emotional message clearly will make them consider you in terms of supporting you. But if you just come up front telling them, okay, yeah, I want to do this for me, can you do this for me? They're gonna back off. They're gonna toss you off, man. It's not gonna work. Or if you kind of make this real clear and make being honest, like honest from ground zero to one, being honest. You're not kind of hiding anything underneath. You're not kind of putting something under the carpet. No, you're making it clear, simple, and straight. But you're also making them realize that their life's ambition, their life's goal, their life's purpose can be achieved if they work with you. I mean, it could be in any field, but if they work with you, if they work in developing your product and making your product get to the world, the life's goal, the life ambition can be fulfilled. I think this will make the overall work experience with you inclusive, where everybody plays a functional role. Everybody's important in the whole process of decision making. I think it's gonna make it awesome. Very, 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 very awesome. And now I'm gonna just drop a little quote on what the CEO, founder of Typed, a business company that helps to manage documenting, manage the way we document stuff. This guy's gonna give you a little tip on how to manage, on how to bring in employees, on how to buy people over in terms of making them support what they're trying to do. Yeah, it's gonna come right real quick.
So I hired a lot of good talents. I just try to convince them. I'm gonna start this new company. I have a really great idea. But rather than trying to convince my product or my business vision, I try to talk to them really genuinely about life vision. Through this journey, I want to achieve this life. I want to have this life. And what about you? I asked one by one. I try to really understand in their shoes what they really desire. It's not necessarily
Yeah, I hope Woojin Kim's opinion was simple, clear, and concise. I mean, that guy was very good. Now, when we talk about investor, these guys are kind of radical. They're kind of, some are normal, some are naive, some are biased, some are just weird. I think investors are kind of weird in the way they view things, in the way they fund companies, in the way they fund product, in the way they fund startups. These guys are radical, as I said earlier. But I think one common behavior you can find in any kind of investor, radical, normal, biased, whichever category it falls into, the line of best fit, the single line that connects each and every one of them is that they can't resist this simple thing if you show them a proof of progress. Let's say you're working on a product, as I've said earlier before. Let's say you're working on a product and you've gotten to some extent, you've gotten some users are buying, some users are using the product consistently. There's monthly turn-in. I mean, there's consistent usage of your product. Now, once you show investors this simple chart of how people are using your product, there's a return on investment in terms of the people coming in are not going, but rather it's increasing. Though the increase is differential, it's incremental, it's little, but yes, progressive. This little chart, I say, will move any investor, radical, biased, in considering funding your product. Yeah, simple and short. Just bring out the chart of your progress, proof of progress. I think it's gonna move any kind of investor, even though he doesn't want to invest, even though your idea is bizarre. Just simply bring out a proof of progress on how you've been able to progress from a certain stage, from 0 to certain stage 2 to certain stage 10, 4, 15, something like that. If you can show them progress, I mean, any human can fall for that. So you show them that. That's the only thing that can move an investor. I think if you search on Google, there are 1,000 ways to attract investors. But all these ones, I think, kind of fall under this singular thing: show a proof of progress. How often do people use it? What's people remarks on what you're building? How well is the entire experience of customers on your product? I think if you can define this outrightly in this chart and this stuff you've written out to show this guy, I think you're gonna buy 1,000 investors over, because this is a simple a very simple thing you could do, and people are gonna get into your stuff. They're gonna go crazy for your stuff. They're gonna want to put in money. I think Facebook had the same thing. I think 2003, 2005, underline. Peter Thiel did the same thing. He saw the chart. It's okay. These guys are gonna be progressive. They're gonna be productive in the next coming years. And straight up, he invested $500,000. Simple and short. So if we can show investors little charts on progress we've made in a short months, I mean, we're gonna save ourselves a lot of unnecessary pitch decks and unnecessary things. I'm just saying. But I think this is real and this is true. Yeah, and thanks for listening. I hope you got the best from this session. I hope you got the best. And whatever thing you've got in your mind concerning investors and employees and concerning starting up a company, you can write slid into the question section and drop your opinions there. It's gonna be helpful for us. Thank you.